You can love your child but hate being a mom. I literally hate being a mom.
I don't enjoy being a mother. I take a shower, I gotta give him a shower. I buy me a shoe, I gotta buy him a shoe. I get ready in the morning, gotta get him ready in the morning. Gotta drop him off at school before I go to work. Gotta feed him, clothe him, bathe him.
You got 3 kids at 24 years old. You're getting ready to struggle. You're getting ready to cry.
Hey, it's me. This is not peaches and rainbows. This is hard. I would not wish this life on my worst enemy.
Listen to me when I say this. Do not have kids. I be wanting to give up everything.
I want to insert this conversation as a married woman and tell y'all how I feel. It ain't just the single women. It's us married women too. Do I still regret having children? Satan wants the family to be broken apart. So he'll do whatever he can to break the family apart. And what better way than to start with a mom? What better way than to get into a mom's mind and make her believe that her children are not worth it? Her dad went to prison for manslaughter. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to affect my child to the point where she's not going to be able to be anybody. That God never designed for motherhood to be full of pain. God can redeem any story he did for me, and he will do it for you. Is that still a thing for us married women? I think you're going to want to stay around for this, sis, because we about to go deep. I'm going to go through Janae's video. I just randomly ran across her channel.
There was a point in time where every girl knew what came after school, after the wedding, and after everyone decided she was woman enough. Well, of course, it was a baby.
Women were marrying extremely young. The marriage age range for women was from around age 21 to age 24. And if you weren't married or engaged or even had an eligible suitor by age 25, some would even consider you an old maid. The goal for a lot of these women were to meet a well-to-do man, have children, and have a beautiful home.
When it came to a woman, it was normal for her to only be seen as a woman by her male-attracting and childbearing abilities.
So in the earlier colonial period, Anglo-Americans tended to think about women as being primarily defined by their relationships with their husbands. Obviously, childbearing was one of these marital relationships, but parental authority was generally understood to be in the hands of the fathers. So mothers were seen as important predominantly because of their ability to reproduce.
The goal was to settle down and prioritize everything in life that wasn't you.
Experts like noted pediatrician and author Dr. Benjamin Spock and popular advice columnist Ann Landers encourage this homemaker image, advising women to put their children and husbands first, even at the expense of their own needs.
I love how she went into what women were expected to do back in the day, right? Because that's a very interesting thing, because to be honest, I don't think that has changed with women today. Now, maybe not if you're single, but I feel like when you're married, you're still expected to do most of the work when it comes to motherhood, when it comes to the household. You're still expected to do just as much as women were expected to do when they were not working. So I feel like I've heard this a lot before, but as a married mother, it's very hard for me to go and work the same number of hours as my husband and then come home and be expected to wash the dishes, wash the clothes, sweep, make sure the house is good, cook, and tend to the kids for the most part. Like, I find it very unfair that I have to do all of that plus have a job. And I'm coming to you as somebody who was a stay-at-home mom before. I've been a stay-at-home mom for years. And when I was a stay-at-home mom, I understood the dynamic of me doing most of the housework, of me taking care of the kids mostly, of me having to cook. I didn't always want to do all of that, but I understood, okay, it balances out because I'm not working. I think when you have to get up and get these kids up, get their teeth brushed, face washed, make sure they're actually, just up and ready and not complaining and mad and sad and stressed out and tired because of what happened last night and hungry. I don't want to eat what you got me, and you ain't got nothing else, and where my snack, and oh yeah, I need this paper signed, oh I didn't do my homework, oh blah blah blah. Like, that's stressful. And at the same time, you as a mom, you got to get your stuff ready. So if you have more than one child, it's pretty much over, right? Don't you dare go and try to be a stay-at-home mom and then start working. Because guess what? Your husband gonna probably do what my husband is doing. My husband has gotten so used to me doing everything because I used to be a stay-at-home mom that now that I'm working, it's just like he can't get it in his head that this is too much on me now. Now you can't say I'm not bringing in good money. I'm working, boo. That's what you wanted. But you also have to understand that with a working woman comes some more responsibilities for you as a dad, as a husband, right? Right? Even though I am capable of doing this, even though I am capable of doing what I need to do, doesn't mean it's not stressing me out to the point that it's leading me to an early grave. I said, and this is what you are missing and what my actual job is missing. Like what I am doing, of course, I'm capable of doing it. God gave me the ability to be able to do a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that I'm not stressed out to the max, okay? And I need some help. Don't come to me talking about how tired I always am and how stressed out I always am, unless you're stepping in to take away some of this stress, okay? And this is just me talking to the females and letting y'all know that just because you get married doesn't mean that your regret of motherhood is going to go away. If anything, it may get worse because you may walk in with these blinders on, thinking that everything is about to be peaches and cream, only to find out that it may even get a little worse because now your man is thinking, oh yeah, she my wife, she's supposed to do this. Because whether you believe it or not, men think that all the time. They think that women have a role, right? And to be honest, we do have a role, right? We are there to care and protect our kids, right? We are there to be kind of the more caring parent in the household. You know, I see it all the time. I'm the more caring parent. God put that in us to be the caring party, to be the caring spouse, right? So what do we do if we get into the situation where we're married and we're expecting more from our husband than he's given us? Let's dig into that, because historically we were told that the woman is supposed to stay home and take care of the kids while the man goes to work. Well, that's no longer usually an option anymore. Usually we need a 2-income household. I mean, even if you're at home doing your own thing, building your own business, that's still a very demanding job. That's more demanding than working for somebody else. Ask somebody who knows now. I mean, a lot of times people who don't understand the intricacies of building your own business, they tend to kind of put that down like, oh, that's not a big deal that you're building your own business. But building your own business is more stress than anything else. Right? So let's get deeper. Let's go deeper. Let's figure out what we can do about this, because we don't want to just be sitting around like miserable the rest of our lives, right? We want something to shake. We want something to be done. So let's see what we can do about this. Let's continue on in the video.
And while this ideology may sound intense and borderline controlling, back in those days, having a child was the one step in life everyone was supposed to take.
In the creation of the family, man and woman fulfill those laws of nature whereby the human race ensures its continuity.
But today, we're uncovering how that one step, the step that pretty much defined womanhood, is now the very thing women are running away from.
The latest data from the CDC reveals the number of births last year dropped by 2%, with the general fertility rate also down 3%, a historic low.
As the world evolved and changed, so did women culturally. And while having children was still on a lot of women's to-do lists, it started leaving a lot of them with this unfulfilled feeling inside.
And with a new baby, that was all exciting too. But once we got into a routine, looking after baby and everything, life became very lonely. And all I was doing was looking after the baby all day and not talking to a soul until my husband came home in the evening. And I felt very isolated.
Now, around this time, women weren't just openly regretting their children, okay? We'll get to that later. But a lot of mothers started feeling feelings that a lot of other mothers were too scared to say out loud.
I've been wanting to get sterilized for a while now. I've been asking since I was 19, And she said to me, oh, so why is it that you don't want to have them? And I said, oh, I feel like I've always known. I've never wanted to be a mother. She said, oh, well, that's not a good reason.
Then, to top it off, let's be real, the world got expensive.
Unfortunately, it's not getting any better. Prices keep rising. The last time inflation was this high was 1981.
Housing prices climbed, groceries doubled, and bills were stacking up. And instead of staying home with the babies, a lot of women would rather stay late at the office.
So the problem that we're facing is not what we think it is. Like, we think that the problem is that we were called to be a mom, that we're called to motherhood, and we shouldn't have to be a mom, and mom shouldn't have to be this stressful. Sure. But I feel like the real problem is that we were not taught about the God who we need in all of this. That we were not taught about the biblical parameters that we need to be inside when we step into motherhood, right? We were not taught how important it is to not have sex before marriage. How important it is to not go out and just cheat with all these men when we get married. We were not told how important it is to build a lifestyle with somebody, or to build a life with a man, to build a life with a husband who is equally yoked with us, right? And equally yoked goes deeper than is he a Christian. Equally yoked goes into how were you both raised? Because how you were both raised is going to tell us what your expectations are as we step into a relationship. If you have not asked your man yet, or if you don't have a man yet and you're thinking about getting a man, make sure you ask him these types of questions. How were you raised? What was your mama like? What was your daddy like? What was the dynamic? If you were missing a parent, what was that dynamic? What did you see your mom do by herself? What did you see your dad do by himself? How were they treating? Ask your man this. How was your dad treating your mom? What was going on in the house? Was there tension all the time? Was your mom always sad? Was your dad always sad? Like, what was the tension? And even better than that, what would be even better than that is for you to get around his family and actually see what's going on. Because whether you like it or not, or whether we like it or not, what we saw growing up is going to be a part of us as we step into our own marriages. We're going to expect our spouse to be similar to what we saw growing up, whether that's good or bad. Which means that even as we step into motherhood and fatherhood, we need to be careful with what our children see, because it's going to affect them for the rest of their lives. Let me give you, for instance, when I first got married to my husband, Darius, I started getting pissed off because he wasn't taking the trash out. Like, it was a real issue for me. Why? Because my dad took the trash out all the time. My mama never touched a trash bag. A big part of that was probably because they had 4 boys who were tasked with doing it when my daddy couldn't do it. But even when we were young, I never saw my mama pick up a trash bag. And we started having trash days. We have trash days at the house where the trash comes. And when we first got married, the trash would still be in a trash can. And I'd be looking crazy like, who he expect to get the trash? And I would go outside and see the big trash being outside, not taken to the road. And I'd be like, who do you think about to take this trash down to the road? Really? And so literally, I remember when we first got married, I had to like call a special meeting and say, look, this is not anything I'm used to. Are you expecting me to take out the trash? He was like, oh yeah, my mama used to take out the trash all the time. It wasn't a big deal. You know, whether my mama got it or whether I got it. He was like, sometimes I just don't have time. And I just say, okay, you can get it. Who, boo? Not me? I said, oh no, boo. See, no, I didn't think that I would ever have to touch trash. I mean, I'm gonna be cute in the morning, getting ready for work and stuff. Like, I don't want to have to get up. And even when I was a stay-at-home mom, I told him, I said, I don't want to have to get up and take trash out, like, in my moo-moo. Like, no. And so we had to come to a conclusion and a decision of, okay, this is like a non-negotiable for me. Like, I need you to take the trash out. I don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want to have to worry about that. And he came to the conclusion that he was okay with that. He just did not know that that's something that was important to me. So these are the things that you need to talk about beforehand. It seems like such a small thing, but it could have turned into a big issue if I hadn't called that little meeting, right? I could have let that just fester and never say anything and would have been mad as I don't know what at him today, 10 years later. This will be our 10th year married, y'all. And so make sure you ask those questions. Like, think about what you were used to as a child, right? Think about the things that you saw, because a lot of what you saw is what you're going to expect, unless you go into your emotions and your mind and like rethink some things, right? Because that can't happen. You can't change some things about how you want your family to be versus how you were raised. So it's all about learning who God is and knowing that, to be honest, he created us to be fruitful and multiply. Let's just get that out of the way. He created us to be fruitful and multiply. That was actually his first commandment, was to be fruitful and multiply, right? With Adam and Eve, right? Be fruitful and multiply. But just like I said, we got to be careful with how we run with it, because we can be fruitful and multiply, right? With the wrong person, right? We can be fruitful and multiply with the wrong person. We got to get the right person first, right? Because if you're being fruitful and multiplying with somebody that God never intended you to be fruitful and multiply with your whole life, you're going to be feeling like, I don't want to be a mama. Am I right now feeling like I don't want to be a mama with my husband? No, I'm not regretting motherhood. Right now, I understand why I'm in the predicament I'm in. I understand that I took on the role of being a stay-at-home mom, and now it's hard to transition out. And me and my husband, we got to figure this out, right? I understand that. I get that. So I'm not holding this against my husband, that this is just what I created, to be honest. And we have to just get on the same page now that I'm working, right? And even as a step out of working and step into building my own business, we're still going to have to come to the conclusion that, look, even though I'm not working a 9 to 5, this building my own business thing is still stressful. Like, I'm still going to need some help, right? Because I'm still going to be bringing money in another way.
Having a baby couldn't just be an emotional decision for some families anymore. With the way the economy was looking, it became a financial one.
A new report from the Brookings Institution, it finds the cost to raise a child from birth to high school is now $300,000.
And much like inflation itself, that cost is at a 4-decade high. It's only expected to increase over the next 10 years, too.
And if that wasn't enough, social media stepped in and ripped apart whatever fantasy was left. For the first time, okay, stepping away from the 50s and the 70s. In the 21st century, we weren't just seeing cute baby pictures and getting baby fever. A lot of sleepless nights and temper tantrums were getting recorded in 4K and posted online.
Somebody help me. Oh my. Everything has gone so wrong these past couple days. I am really trying to prevent a crash out.
Women were giving their brutal, honest reviews of pregnancy.
This is the worst experience of my life. I'm sore as hell all the time. I'm sad. I'm getting fat as my nose big as hell. I got hair growing in the middle of my titties. I never even had hair right there.
Leaving a lot of other women terrified and sitting this one out. So the tone towards motherhood shifted, and the more women shared their burnout, the more opting out seemed more reasonable.
The next thing she talks about is this financial pressure. Now, I get it. I was a single mom. I was on food stamps. I know how hard it can be. But again, I know what the word says. The word says that the Lord will supply all of our needs according to his riches and glory. And according to my Bible, my God is very rich. Our God is very rich. He has cattle on 1,000 hills, boo. He is the richest of the rich. You know, we honestly, if we can believe and trust and know who God is, we shouldn't be wanting for anything, right? Because he is a God who provides, right? We just have to trust him. And what does trust look like? Trust is literally letting go. Y'all watch my tithing video. Trust is love. Literally. Watch my tithing video. That's the video that I made where I'm basically telling you not to tithe. I want you to look at that video. Okay? Look at that video. You might be surprised what you find. But this really opened my mind a lot more to giving and what giving actually does according to the Word of God, right? Just know that God will supply all of your needs. Social media is a big issue. Yes, I know. But hear me out here. Social media did not create this problem. It just put a magnifying lens on it, right?
Give a how cute a kid is. I don't want them. I gotta pay bills, cell phone bills, credit card bills. I gotta pay for expenses. I gotta pay for my own clothes. I gotta fend for my own life. So you think I want to bring life into this world and fend for another life?
And if people are gonna opt out of not having a baby, they're gonna do it very loud and proud. Now, we're at this point of two extremes. The people who dream of having kids and the ones who treat them like the plague.
You cannot look at this and tell me that you don't have baby fever.
I absolutely can, so please get it away from me.
Ew, do anybody else feel like this? Like, I'm a mom, but like I f***ing hate kids. Like, I can deal with my baby, but like other people's kids, I can't stand them. Get that bastard away from me. I saw him walking and talking right now. You gotta go to your daddy house, boo.
If I'm saying your kid's cute, like, I'm lying to you. Sorry. I do not like children. I don't. To be fair, I don't have a child, but I imagine when I do have my own child, I will like the child, but I just don't like kids.
Now, in the midst of all these anti-children social media posts, it's creating this brewing war of women who love kids and the ones who hate them.
When you think you have kids?
I'm not having kids.
What you mean you're not having kids?
I'm not having kids.
That's what you was born here to do.
No, I'm not.
Why would you not want to have kids?
Why would I?
Well, I'm asking you.
I want to have kids. I don't see any benefit.
For giving somebody life?
You have a kid and your life becomes about the kid. I want my life to be about me.
Oh, you selfish.
That's okay.
Why is it such a crime that I don't want children and I do not like children? Whenever I mention online anywhere that I don't like children, I don't want children, I want nothing to do with them, I don't want to be in the same room as a child, people act like I am threatening the entire human race.
I don't be around women who make hating kids their personality. Like, you don't like kids? You don't like babies? That's odd to me. If a kid isn't safe around you, I'm not safe around you.
Y'all see why I say there's two extremes? It's almost like you can't be in between. You either have your kids and you love them to death, or you have no kids and don't even want to think of the thought of them. And then, right in the middle of that, you have that one group of women who do have the kids, but they hate that they have to take care of them.
I only have one kid because I don't enjoy being a mother. Love my son to death. Absolutely hate the responsibility of being his mom. I take a shower, I gotta give him a shower. I buy me a shoe, I gotta buy him a shoe. I get ready in the morning, gotta get him ready in the morning. Gotta drop him off at school before I go to work. Gotta feed him, clothe him, bathe him.
I love my kids, but I absolutely do not enjoy motherhood. I am always responsible to do everything. The kids' fathers, they help when they want to help. But if it's not convenient for them, then it's left on me.
It definitely does put a bad taste in my mouth, the huge amount of women that basically come online and complain. And I mean, they go in on the fact that they have a child and on the fact that that child needs them.
I hate being a parent. It's actually disgusting. I don't mind people saying they get tired and they be needing a break and stuff like that, but saying that you hate being a parent is just weird. It's weird because you didn't have to have those kids. Like, I don't know. People like that, I kind of be feeling like would do something to their kids or would abandon or neglect their kids. Like, that's so trifling to me. We need to stop normalizing stuff like that.
I think the real issue is not that women are really regretting their children, because you hear a lot of them say, well, I love my children, but I just don't want to take care of them. I don't want to have... They're not regretting their children. They're actually regretting the fact that they're doing it alone. To be honest, being married is still a flex, because at any point, I can say, look, I'm gone, boo. I can tell my husband, look, I'm gone. I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to the store. I'm going to be with my friends. You take care of the kid. I can say that at any point, right? Because I know that as my husband, he has an obligation, just like I do, to take care of these kids. And there's really nothing he can do about it. Just like there's really nothing I can do about it if he decides, look, I'm going to hang with the boys, right? I mean, really, you want it to be a thing where you sit down and talk about it, right? You don't want to just always be like, I'm leaving. But if it needs to be that way, if something comes up and you have to go, you always have that backup of somebody doing it with you. You're not doing life alone. This is why God tells us to marry before we multiply, right? To not have sex before marriage, right? A lot of men are going to say something like, oh, well, in the Bible days, these men had more than one wife and God still loved them. Yes, because God is a God who will love you through your mess. God never said for you to have more than one wife. He's just a God who will love you through your mess. He's just a God who sees past all of the issues you got. Okay, boo? God let us know in the book of Genesis what he desired. He desired Adam and Eve to be together. He didn't desire Adam to be with Eve, Sandra, Nicole, Shannon. He didn't desire a man to be with a lot of women. The same way he didn't desire a woman to be with a lot of men. Because if he wanted that, he would have did that in the Garden of Eden. He showed you what he wanted. He said a wife and a husband would cling to each other. A man and a woman would cleave to each other. They'll leave their family and cleave to one another. That's his design. So what is Satan's design? If that is God's design, what is Satan's design? Satan's design is the exact opposite. He doesn't want family. Satan wants the family to be broken apart. So he'll do whatever he can to break the family apart. And what better way than to start with a mom? What better way than to get into a mom's mind and make her believe that her children are not worth it? That her children are not worth the late nights? That her children are not worth all the stuff that she has to do to take care of them? What better way than to make the woman regret her children? Because not only are you going to get this woman full of anxiety and remorse, but you're also going to get these children who feel unwanted. Look, Satan already has us through our men who are not taking care of their kids, and we know there are a lot of them. Men, y'all know y'all out there. I've dealt with it before, right? He already has taken a part of the family unit by taking these men away and telling them that they don't have to take care of their kids, that their kids okay without them. But he also now is hitting on the woman and saying, look, you shouldn't have to do this alone. Which in turn makes them feel regretful that they even had a child. And whether you know it or not, that child is going to start to feel that, because guess what? This kind of stuff passes down. This kind of stuff passes down. I want to tell you about how stuff passes down. These women are basically talking about how they're in pain right now, right? They're in pain. They feel pain that they have to do all of this stuff with no help, right? It's just too much on them. They're talking about this pain. But I want to tell you right now that God never designed for motherhood to be full of pain. Do you know the only part of motherhood God designed to be painful, or God declared that would be painful? Childbirth. God declared that childbirth would be painful. And that's the only thing about motherhood that should be painful, according to the word of God. Now, childbirth became painful because of who? Because of Eve. Eve in the garden did what she wanted to do. She went and told her man, look, we don't have to do what God told us to do, boo. We can do exactly what he told us not to do. Ain't nothing gonna happen. You know how I know that? Because a snake told me, boo. Because a snake told me, boo. Said what's not going to happen to us. That we actually missing out. Because that fruit on that tree is good. And so what we do, we did what we want to do now. We want to take over, right? We want to tell our man what he going to do and what he not going to do, right? So we did it even in the Garden of Eden. And what happened? What happened when we did that? God came down. He found out what he already knew. We know he already knew. But he came down and he asked about it, right? And what we tried to do, we tried to blame it on the person who told us what to do. We can't go and blame something on somebody just because we followed what they told us to do. But we blamed it on the snake, right? Right? because Adam blamed it on us, which he should have, because really it was our fault. But Adam, you should have took your place as the man of the house and did what you had to do and told that woman, nah, boo, we're not going to do that. That ain't of God, right? But he didn't. And you know why he didn't? Because we as women have a lot of pull. I want you to know that you have a lot of pull. You have a lot of power in your words. And I think that's what God wants you to know in this season, is that your words have a lot of power. Just like Eve's words had a lot of power. Eve's words basically changed the trajectory of the entire human race. And what did God do because of Eve's disobedience and her instigating this? He said, in pain, you will bear your children. And so that's why we bear our children in pain. That's why childbirth is so painful, because of what Eve did. It passed down to all of us. Our mama, the mother of all mothers, passed the pain of childbirth down to all of us. Passed down these monthly cycles to all of us. All of that is connected. And now, today, guess what? You can pass down just as much to your kids. You regretting your kids is going to affect your children, and they are in turn going to regret their children, if they have any. They may not even have any, because they saw how much you struggled and regretted doing it. So we must think twice about our words, how we use them. I know we're frustrated. I know things could be better. But I also know that we have a God that we don't even realize cares that much about us. God cares so much about you. Do you know how much He cares about you? He cared about you so much that He made me come outside today, out of my office, to come outside and tell you how much He cares about you. And that you're not alone, even when you feel like you're alone raising these kids. He's right there and He got you. I was you. I was doing it alone. I was in an abusive relationship with a guy, and then we broke up. And then I was feeling like, okay, I ruined my life because now my child ain't gonna know her dad. And then he went to prison. And then I was like, oh my gosh, my child is gonna grow up with so much trauma, and I just don't know what's gonna happen. But I gave it to God, and I said, Lord, what I can't do, I need you to do. I ended up getting married to an amazing man who was there for my child from the time she was 18 months old. Yes, we have our issues. Yes, we have to get through some of these struggles, but he's an amazing, amazing guy, an amazing husband, and an amazing father, right? And guess what about my child? Now, the child that I raised alone and was so scared that she was gonna be like her dad, and was so scared that she's gonna have some trauma that she couldn't get rid of. What about the girl today? Today, that girl is 17 years old. 17 years old, senior in high school, about to graduate in May, right? It's March now. She's about to graduate in like a month. And guess what? She has her 33 on her ACT. She is a National Merit Scholar, which means she's going to college completely free for the next 4 years of her life. She's going to be an anesthesiologist, and we are looking for her to go to medical school completely free. You can't tell me that my God does not care. I asked Him 17, 18 years ago to help me to do something that I didn't think I could do, because I was doing it alone without her dad. Her dad went to prison for manslaughter. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to affect my child to the point where she's not going to be able to be anybody. But my God said not so. Because guess why? Because He has a plan for you. To prosper you. Right? To give you a future and a hope. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what your situation looks like. I don't care if you ain't got no money in the bank right now. You on food stamps, baby. I was too. But God has a future and a hope, not only for you, but for your children. And you have to believe that and know that. Or else, boo, you're going to pass down some stuff. You're going to pass down some trauma that your children are not going to be able to get rid of. So I'm here to tell you that yes, I've been in a season where I regretted having a baby so early. I regretted having a baby before I had a man. But I had to change my foresight. I had to change my outlook on life and say, look, this is not the end of the story. Yes, I should have made better decisions, but we here now, boo. We got to get it done, boo. And then I looked at the Lord and I said, Lord, I'm going to need you, boo. You're going to have to help me out because I can't do it on my own. That's all God is waiting for. He's waiting for you to come into him, come into his arms, and let him know, I can't do it no more. I can't do it on my own, Jesus. So instead of y'all coming to social media talking about how much you regret your children, I want you to go to God and tell him, Lord, I regret having my children. Be real with him. Say, Lord, I regret having my children. Say exactly what you say online. Say it to God. Because let me tell you something. God ain't never scared. He ain't scared of none of your issues, boo. Be real with him and let him show you what he does with that realness. I guarantee he comes in and hugs you with the biggest hug you've ever felt in your life. And he lets you know that you're not alone in that moment. He ain't doing nothing but sit up there waiting on you, boo. So we're doing something that a lot of times was designed to be done in a family unit, and we're not doing it according to God's design. So we reap the benefits of that. But let me tell you that is not the end of the story, right? He can redeem any story. He ain't scared of it. He ain't scared of what you're going through. He loves you. He cares for you, and he only wants the best for you. And guess what? He has a purpose for you. I know she talks about these pregnant women who always getting pregnant.
But we can't forget about the other group of mothers. I know there's more. And this is an extreme that no one really talks about. And that's the women who don't just love and chase motherhood. They chase the high that comes before it.
Reasons why I am obsessed with and want to be pregnant like 1,000 more times.
There are some women who are truly at their happiest when they are pregnant, and it's not necessarily just because, oh, I'm pregnant, this is what I'm supposed to do, this is what my body is designed for. Like, there's reasons for this.
There are women who love being pregnant so much that they've been pregnant for years, like 8 years.
I have been pregnant for over 8 years. I have 11 kids. Pregnant with number 12, but I'm telling you, I hate being pregnant. I hate being pregnant. And I know that sounds weird, but I do.
Now, I don't want to question this woman's lifestyle choices, but to say you hate being pregnant and then you're pregnant for almost a decade, I don't know, girl. I'm just connecting the dots as I see them. You're building the puzzle. I'm just putting the pieces together. Now, this is another situation we could look at two sides of. You could see it as, oh, these women love the nature of bringing a child into this world to love and raise. Or you could see it as, oh, these women love the nature of bringing a child into this world, even if it forces the other babies to have to grow up faster than they should.
Mommy is pregnant! Because mommy's pregnant. They hear me. I said 12 children. You said 12 children. You guys. Yeah, mommy's pregnant. Mommy, you're pregnant. No, mom, you're gonna have two. Wait, no.
You pregnant again? Why you gonna say again? Get your brother. I'm tired of getting kids. Why do you keep getting pregnant? It don't have nothing to do with your baby. You always asking me to hold a baby. I'm tired of holding babies. No, that's actually stop getting pregnant. You always pregnant. You don't watch no kids. Why do you keep having kids?
A lot of older siblings sometimes have to take the role of the parent, even if they don't want to. And while the mom is attending the newborns, the oldest is making lunch and attending temper tantrums all at the same time.
My little brother's trying to get me to carry him. I'm trying to make tortillas for lunch. Keep in mind, he's fed, his diaper's changed.
I really hate thinking how mean I was to my younger siblings when we were growing up. I was just so mad all the time. I had to become a third parent, right? Like many of us do. And I didn't know how to parent. Like, I didn't know. First of all, it wasn't my job, obviously. Like, I shouldn't have had to learn. I should have just been able to be a child as well.
So while the mom keeps popping out those babies because she loves being pregnant so much, the oldest one is growing up and they're filling in those gaps that the mom doesn't have time for.
I think some moms end up with so many kids because they love the baby stage, but they don't like all the rest of it. And once that baby starts to get out of that baby stage, they start to feel unfulfilled again, and they need to fill that void with another baby. It is a cycle, and it's kind of sad.
I think we can be pretty honest here. Can't y'all see why some women want to be quote unquote selfish? Bringing a child into this world, to me, isn't something that should be done willy-nilly, or when you're not financially or mentally stable. It's a big deal. It's a huge responsibility, but it's also something that a lot of women want and enjoy.
Basically, they have a pregnancy addiction is what she called it. And yes, we all know somebody like that, right? Maybe 2 or 3 people like that. But even with them, I feel like they're trying to fill a void that can only be filled with God's love, can only be filled with the purpose He has for them. And so all of you have a purpose in Christ. And if you don't know what that purpose is, I want you to come along with me, because I want to show you or help you to find out what your purpose is. Because He has a specific purpose for you and you alone. And my question is, are you stepping into your purpose? Because that's what we're going to be going through on this channel, is stepping into your purpose. Is doing what God has called you to do. What is your purpose for living? What is your reason for being on this earth? God has a response to that, y'all. He knows what He knows what He created you for. Now it's time for you to figure that out. And it ain't hard to figure out. We're going to get through it. We're going to do it. But I just want you to know, if you are in this situation and you feel like this is just the end of your life, I get it. I was there before. The missing variable in all of this, the thing that you are missing, sis, is a relationship with Christ that fills everything that you feel like you're missing. If you want a husband in this season, the Lord, He has a man for you, boo. That ain't nothing for Him. Do you hear me? It ain't nothing for God to give you a good man. But first, you need to be fully whole, so that when you enter a relationship with this man, that you won't have a half of a man and a half of a woman, but you'll have a whole man and a whole woman. He wants to make us whole. So let's get whole before we try to get into this relationship, because 2 half people are still 2 people who don't have it together. But 2 whole people who are whole when they come together, baby, that's just like reinforcing the strength of your marriage when you're both whole. I have a quiz that I want you to take to help you to start figuring out where you are in life right now, so we can start figuring out what your purpose is. That's what God has called me to do. That's what He's shown me my purpose is to help other women find their purpose.